And the award for Best Original Screenplay goes to Keith Michaels for Paradise Misplaced.
It's tragic how much I'm enjoying getting this.
I'm a little bit desperate. I can't pay my bills.
There is something. You have to hear me out.
You thought of me
For a teaching job.
Teaching is an absurd profession practiced by desperate failures.
Keith?
If it pays, I'll take it.
Keith Michaels is a screenwriter who was very successful in Hollywood and won an Oscar about 15 years ago and is now completely washed up, can't get a job, and in desperation is forced to accept a job teaching screenwriting in a third-rate university in the middle of nowhere. And he has a very bad attitude to it and behaves very badly, but then comes to like it. I would have thought twice about it if it had been an out-and-out romantic comedy. There's more to it than that. It's sort of about second chances, redemption. It has a lot more dimensions.
You haven't spoken to your son in a year?
Well, it's not a big deal. It's just that after his mother remarried, we sort of saw less and less of each other, so...
Because when you spoke about him in class, your whole face lit up.
Yeah, well, I was very fond of him.
And now you're not?
I just think Mark's talented. I love his dialogue. I'm quite fussy about dialogue, and people who write genuinely sparkly lines are quite few and far between. So I love him for that. And I thought this was a sort of mature piece of his, and it seemed like a no-brainer to do it. And it's very comfortable working with him. Mark Lawrence is a case in point. They're tortured if they're not directing the film as well. They're tortured. They see the director going down the wrong route, and the poor old writer's sitting there thinking, no, that's killing the joke, and that's going to make the moment completely wrong. And I think it literally is physical pain for them, and that's why they end up directing their own stuff. Same with Richard Curtis.
Let's say Jack Nicholson decided that he wanted to know what people truly thought of him, whether his life had actually amounted to anything. So he fakes his death and stages his own funeral. You know, I just think the possibilities are pretty hilarious.
I saw you on Graham Norton, I think, where you were saying about Richard Curtis and not necessarily being the sort of first choice, which I thought was remarkably candid. But...
Yeah, no, he didn't want me at all, and had to be persuaded by Mike Newell and the producers.
If you hadn't gone into acting, what do you think you might have done?
Well, by the time I went to the audition for Four Weddings and a Funeral, when I was about 31 or 2, I was already had a parallel career doing radio commercials, not acting them. Well, I did act some of them, but I also wrote them and produced them with a couple of friends, and I loved that job.
I found myself missing you. It's quite possible that if I'd stayed away a few more hours, I'd have just completely got over that, but now we'll never know.